Coming to you from Hilbert College, this is the podcast Running Wild. My name is Gabriel Sparsa, and I'm joined, blessed to be joined by Spencer Sticek.
Yeah.
Spencer, you took a journey, or a pilgrimage, should I say, to the land.
I don't think you should say it that way.
Why not?
I think pilgrimage is definitely not a term that we would generally use.
Okay.
I would say just a business trip.
Okay, you took a business trip to the land, to both my listeners, I mean Cleveland, to watch. What was it for exactly, actually?
Well, I first went down the whole main focus of the trip was a career fair. It was just like a job career fair at the Quicken Loans Arena. And so I walked around there and talked to a bunch of different jobs. Ironically enough, one of the most intriguing ones was the Cleveland Browns.
No.
Which I would be a huge fan of the Browns if they gave me a big
Are you
check.
sure intriguing is the right word for that?
It was very intriguing. I'm very interested.
Because it's like a dumpster fire? You don't want to look away?
I want to jump right in.
Okay.
Yeah. But other than that, I talked to a bunch of other jobs like a sales in Pittsburgh Pirates and Cleveland Cavaliers and all that. So that was the main focus of the trip, was basically networking.
Well, good luck to you from the Run Wild podcast and your networking endeavors.
Thanks, Gabe. But yeah, after that, there's a little hour in between, and then we went to the game, the Orlando Magic at Cleveland.
That was a squeaker.
Yeah, I mean, they were up. Cavs were up 20 at halftime, and then lost. They won by 1. Like,
that's been a theme this year for the Cavs, though.
It was very awful to watch that second half, like watching them fall like that.
Right, because there have been a couple games where they've had decent leads, and then either they win narrowly or even lose the game.
Usually when you're up 20 at half, it either turns into a blowout or you end up winning by a good margin still.
Right, but not with the Cavs this season. What's going on with that?
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it still. We go through this every year where all the LeBron teams go through a little turmoil during the season, and it just doesn't matter. It's regular season. Once the playoffs hit, the team's a whole different
That's where
mentality.
You lock in.
Yeah, they're especially with the Cavs because they don't got to worry about what seed they're at in the East. Their sights are already like
the Warriors,
Thunder, Rockets. Doesn't matter. Their sights are at the finals right now.
All right, we'll keep talking about basketball, but for right now, I think we all know what happened. We're recording on a Monday. Yesterday
was a Sunday.
It was Sunday. That's how our calendar works here. But 2 unbelievable games. One more impressive in terms of what happened during the game, and the other one was over by the first quarter.
Yeah.
Did you watch the games?
Not a whole lot of it, honestly. I was working during the Pats game, but it doesn't surprise me that Tom Brady leads them to victory at the end of the game. Like, the better team wins.
They were down 10, and not one moment was I thinking, oh, wow, Jacksonville's going to pull this off.
Yeah, I mean, I think only people in Jacksonville kind of thought, like, the Jags might win it.
Uh-huh.
Everyone else is like, Tom Brady's on the other side. The guy that came back from the largest comeback in Super Bowl history. But the other game, the Vikings-Eagles, that was very intriguing to me. I thought it was going to be a lot better game.
Everyone did, I think.
But, I mean, the better team ended up winning again. Even without Carson Wentz, Nick Foles has proven that he's good enough to step in and start anywhere in this league.
Right. And then Case Keenum, if you're a Vikings fan, you got to get rid of Case Keenum. Not based off just one game, but we saw his limitations.
Yeah, I mean, Case has been a backup quarterback his whole career. He's been in the league for like 5-6 years now, I would think. He's not like a rookie or a second-year player. He proved to be a good backup this year.
Right.
But it also proved that he's not the long-term option anywhere. And the Vikings have options. They still have Bradford and
Love
Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, I mean, he's coming off the 2-year hiatus, so Case Keenum's not. It's hard because he proved that he can play in this league, but just
Right.
Not as a starter, in my opinion.
Also, he's not someone you want to throw a Tyrod contract at now.
Absolutely not, no.
People were really upset with the 2 big pass interference calls in the Jacksonville Patriots game. And I have one take from that. We would not have wanted to watch the Jaguars in the Super Bowl because do you know how you get these long pass interference calls? By actually throwing it that deep. Part of the reason the Jaguars didn't get that is because, he's limited as a quarterback. It's a dink and dunk offense. Tom Brady took the shots and you get rewarded.
I would have to agree with that. Then the NFL with their rulings on catches and what's not a catch, what is a catch, and what is interference and what isn't interference is becoming basically just a crapshoot. I don't know quite how they call it anymore.
Right. It's almost bigger than the game itself.
Yeah, because you see a lot of plays where you're like, that's definitely pass interference and nothing was called. And then you'll see a pass interference called and then you're like, really? Like you barely did anything there. And, and it's not just happening once in a while. It's not mistakes here and there. It's every game you see it at least 3 to 4 times. So, that's just part of the game in my opinion. Just move on from it. It's easy to go back and look at replays all the time and say how awful the refs did. But their job is very hard, and they have a lot more education behind why they call plays than any fans do.
Fair enough. Plus, it's live on the field.
And
it's going to be hard.
If you can't control it, then don't argue it. Basically, the same thing when you play baseball. You're not going to reverse the call by arguing with the umpire.
Right, no.
Just got to move on.
That's a one-way ticket out of the stadium.
Exactly.
Speaking of a one-way ticket, I booked my ticket to Orlando this year for the Pro Bowl. Are you excited as I am, huh?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think anyone really likes the Pro Bowl.
I think the over-under's at 200 this year.
They're better off just doing like the Gridiron Stars games and just putting them in their arena playing dodgeball and playing weird games, seeing them in a realm that you don't normally see players in, because that would intrigue me. No one cares if they're running around scoring 80 points and not playing any defense, because that's cool in NBA. It's not cool in the NFL.
Right, because you get the highlight plays in the NBA.
NFL's a contact sport that's already losing contact.
Right.
Why put them out there in a Pro Bowl when no one wants to get hurt? People might get hurt. People are scared watching their favorite players out there because they don't want to miss them the next season. It's just not a good look for the NFL, and I'd be really interested to hear what a player's opinion is on the game, because I'm sure they enjoy going on the trip and talking to all the other Pro Bowlers there and having an all-star experience that every other league has. But they got to figure out a better way to do it.
Right. I, however, am a huge fan of the dodgeball game, like you mentioned, and the catching of the football from a drone. I'm definitely going to be tuned into that, Spencer.
Exactly. That's what the Pro Bowl should be and only should be. Just cool, weird things like that. That gets people's attention. I would love to see Eli Manning running out there for passes from a drone or something, you know? But I don't really care if Tom Brady.
It's not a good product.
Tom Brady will never play in a Pro Bowl because he's always in the Super Bowl.
Right.
But just like as an example, I don't care if he's out there throwing bombs to a receiver in a Pro Bowl game with no defense. That doesn't impress me. It's just practice.
And it's going to be bad football anyway because they only get a couple days of practice where they can go over stuff and get some chemistry. It's not good overall.
Absolutely not.
For our TV audience, can I just say this? I like your earrings, Spencer.
Thank you, Gabriel.
They're, what do you call them? Some Yankees.
Yankee studs.
Yes.
The logos.
Your Yankees have reloaded nicely this offseason.
Oh, yeah. We're
Championship
we're starting
or bust?
up a dynasty right now.
Is it championship or bust?
Absolutely.
You know, speaking of a team that's championship or bust, how about our Lady Hawks here?
Fire. We're the best team in the country. D3.
Are we really?
Probably not.
Oh,
but
okay. Definitely in the AMCC.
They're
though.
my favorite team, and we're definitely number one in the AMCC right now, which is the first time in school history at this point in the season.
True.
They've already tied the school record for wins in a season, and they're playing Madai on Wednesday and La Roche on Saturday. La Roche is home on Saturday, so that's the big game I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the guys' game on Wednesday and the girls' game on Saturday.
Well, the guys' game on Wednesday has a couple storylines to it.
Just a couple. Like our preseason player of the year that started as a Hawk for his first 3.5 years and then playing against us now with our rival. Still our favorite player, but
Very bittersweet, though.
I would love to see him drop 50 points on us and lose still. That would be a win-win for the Hawk Nation.
Right.
But Saturday, LaRoche versus the Lady Hawks. I believe it's a 4 o'clock tip-off. That will be a big game just for the morals of the team and how they're going to feel about the playoffs.
Right, because I don't think they've beaten LaRoche.
I don't think we've ever beaten LaRoche, but we only lost by a little bit the first time. And we didn't. I don't think we had Taylor that game either.
Right, revenge of the Hawks.
Let's win at home versus LaRoche. Show them that we're for real.
Lock up number 1.
That'll give everyone even more confidence than they have right now. And that should prove to the girls inside that they can go out and they can actually win this championship. It's not a fluke.
2 fairly successful seasons back to back. There's no way this is a fluke, Spencer. We have something special being built here.
I think we both knew that the entire time, and everyone else is just finally seeing it.
We've been to all the home games.
Just about.
Anyway, how about for the guys' team? Are they going to be able to rebound against... I don't mean literally the rebound. I mean, are they going to be able
to
rebound? Are they going to be able to rebound with the loss of Jalen against Medaille on Wednesday?
Oh, my God. I can't wait to watch this game. I think it's going to be a really good game, but I'm going to have to probably give the edge to the Mavs. Just because the last time we played, Jalen wasn't on either side, and we barely won.
Mm-hmm.
Now with Jalen on the other side, fired up and even more,
he plays with an edge.
Yeah, he plays with a huge edge, and he's playing at Medaille, not at Hilbert. So it's just going to be a weird atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
I know Jalen still has a really good relationship with a lot of the players at Hilbert still, but what if he hits that 3 in front of Coach DeGrampy's face,
Ooh.
How is he going to react to that? How many technical fouls are going to be thrown in this game?
Mm-hmm.
I think the Mavs are going to adjust by a little bit, but, I'm always Hawk Nation, so let's go Hawks.
It's going to be a game full of emotion. I'm going to take the points, Spencer. I'm going to take the 3.5 points that Vegas set, and I'm just hoping that the Nest is able to migrate to Medaille for that game.
I just want our team to focus on not worrying about Jalen being on the other side. He's just another player that we have to play against now. And then after the game, you can go reminisce and say what up. But during the game, it's nothing but competition and good competition. Not getting in his face, not getting fouls because you're frustrated, not talking smack to him on the floor, getting in stupid fouls. You gotta be smart out there still.
I'm going to say something I think a little crazy, but I think Hilbert's still deeper than the Medaille roster.
Yeah, but in basketball, all it takes is the 2 or 3 players sometimes to win games. Unlike other team sports like baseball and football, you need more than 1 to 2 players. But basketball, 2 players can really make a huge difference in a game. And if Jalen's on, really on, we're going to be in trouble.
Right. I imagine they'll have some scheme for him being drawn up right now.
And finally, with the Hawks basketball, we got to have a special shout-out to our favorite Lady Hawk, Kelsey Ebert, becoming the all-time leading scorer in Hawks history. She already has a lot of other very impressive records with Hilbert. And my favorite part is she was here from the bottom, when Hilbert was at the bottom, to when Hilbert's at the top. And I don't think that's a fluke either. I think with her being the only consistency of those years, the coaches changing 3 different times, I think it was just the effort she puts in off the court that people don't see behind the scenes.
Or any of the personnel, too. I think she's the only senior to come up all the way through the 4 years.
For all these years,
yeah.
That's true.
Yep.
And I think she's just a very special part of this Hawk community and changing this program. And it's awesome what she did. I hope a bunch of girls are inspired by how hard she works. And when she graduates at the end of this year, I hope everyone there is going to take her place and work just as hard. But definitely special shout-out to number 21. She's the Hilbert GOAT, my favorite player. Me and Gabe love watching her play, her antics and everything.
I hate playing defense against her.
Yeah, she's tough.
Makes you feel silly every time.
Absolutely. She's a way better player than I ever was.
Hands down. I wanted to ask you, Spencer, what's happened with your Spartan Nation so far? They're in a little bit of a downward
A
spiral.
little rut, huh?
A little bit.
Yeah.
They were looking so good at the beginning of the season. Everyone had a Duke, Michigan State. Now what?
It seems to be a trend on NCAA wide right now, though. All the teams at the top's been losing a bit,
Mm-hmm.
but Tom Izzo's going to regain it near the end when you get in the Big Ten tournament and everything. They'll be fine. They'll win the Big Ten still over Nebraska,
Fat chance.
and they'll still make it to the Final Four. We'll see how it goes. But talking about college basketball, how about Duke and
Oh,
next
my
year's
goodness.
Duke class?
They were already number one, right?
Yes.
And then they got Zion Williamson.
Yeah, they are the first team in the rankings era to have signed all top 3 recruits in the nation. Number 1, 2, and 3. Number 2 being Zion Williamson,
Mm-hmm.
which is like the next LeBron prospect in his terms of how athletic he is,
Right.
and how flamboyant his dunks are, how rappers like Kid Ink are already mentioning him in lyrics, and Drake's pictured wearing his high school jersey around.
Mm-hmm.
His 105K Twitter followers. Like, this dude is big time already. I don't know how that even feels being in high school still. Like, Zion's in high school and all this is happening right now. Duke is going to be filthy. Barring injuries, they might not lose a game. They might be the best team in college history.
Do you know if they have shooters?
I'm not totally familiar with the other 2 coming in, and I'm not familiar with who's staying.
Okay.
I know Grayson Allen's going to be leaving.
Right.
Can you imagine Marvin Bagley even stayed? I know
He
he's
won't,
not.
but
He's going to be like
imagine.
a top 3 pick, but imagine if he stayed with these 3.
Right.
They would never lose.
You might have them 4 play 40 minutes a night for some games.
Why not? They probably won't even sweat.
Uh-huh. Right.
I was very interested to just watch Zion in high school and watching him in college. I can't wait. But now that he's going to play with Duke, it's like, I want to see him out there shining on his own. I don't want to see him share the spotlight with everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's going to see his big numbers and his big plays as we would somewhere else.
What do you think Mike Krzyzewski? What do you think
Just call him
Mike?
Coach K.
What do you think Coach K tells these players? Because I think that's a legitimate point. You're not going to get the main. You might get the main spotlight, but you're not going to get a lot of it. You're not going to get all the touches you're used to. But every year he seems to reload. What do you think Coach K tells his players?
It's a fine line, like with the spotlight, because they're gonna seem way more limelight on TV because everyone's intrigued with the storylines. So they're gonna get way more exposure than they already do, and Duke gets a lot. But I'm thinking, like, if you went to a different D1 school, say like Ben Simmons went to LSU, you're gonna stand out way more at that school and make a bigger impact on your team, and show other teams that you don't have to rely on your teammates the whole time and you can carry them.
Mm-hmm.
And the teams that draft you at the top of the draft need that player to carry their team, because that's why they're at the top of the draft.
Right.
So it's kind of like they can still do that when they're playing together, but it's harder to distinguish which one is the special one, which one's the leader, which one's
Right.
out there, which one's going to take the last shot. And it's cool because it's like the AAU leagues now. Everyone knows each other. Everyone's playing with each other, so they all can team up and have friendships and go to the same schools. Whereas in the past, they probably didn't play with each other as much as they do now,
Right.
and they wanted to play against each other.
They were
prove
rivalries,
who's better
right.
than the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of like the millennial mindset, and I don't mind it. I would do the same thing if I was a number 1 prospect. I would want number 2 to play with me.
Right.
Let's go win some championships.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the change of culture, what do you think of LeVar Ball pulling his kids, I'm going to just say both of them essentially, out of UCLA to play in Lithuanian basketball?
I don't think LeVar should ever be a thing. I don't think media should even acknowledge him. He's already got enough exposure to where he can do whatever he wants. I think it was an awful decision. I think pulling LiAngelo without him even playing a game with UCLA, like a real game,
Right.
seems very premature, very immature, and the NBA scouts don't like it. They're already fed up with him in LA.
With LeVar, you mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel bad for the kids because the kids are talented. I don't think Landro's much of a prospect as his brothers are. But like Lonzo right now, he's a good young prospect. Seems like a good young kid. But his dad's making me want to root against him. And he's making the Lakers second guess their draft pick just because of him bringing in negativity around the arena. Talking negatively about that coach is so little league. It's ridiculous.
He wasn't even talking negatively. It was borderline advocating to fire Luke Walton.
And that's negative to me.
Well, I'm just saying it's
Right.
even more serious. And then I think other players are saying, well, is Lonzo saying this behind everyone's back? You know?
And I think there's just no way that can be. Because every time you hear Lonzo speak, he's very humble. He doesn't speak like anything like LeVar does. And LeVar needs to just sit down and enjoy what he has. He does get credit for producing young studs and making them fine gentlemen, you know. But sit back and be that dad. Just watch from the court side and enjoy the game. Why do you gotta feel like you gotta run the team when it's Magic Johnson's job?
To quote Blue Mountain State, if you truly love a butterfly, you'll release it and let it use its wings.
Right, absolutely. But now the Ball brothers and Lithuania are out there balling out. But great, that's probably gonna be their career. It's gonna be overseas now because NBA prospects are not gonna have a LeVar dad around.
They'd have to dominate pretty consistently.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even want them. Like, even if they were a top 5 talent, I wouldn't want that in my organization unless I had it built in their contract that LeVar couldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, LeVar can come to the games, but he can't talk to the press. He says one thing, and he's banned from the stadium. That's how I would build it in.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the only way I would want him.
I'm still sold on Lonzo Ball. He had a rocky start, granted, but he's starting to pull his own out there.
But now that you reflect back on the draft, would you have rather had him than Jason Tatum?
Ooh. Oh, that's a good question. For the Lakers, I think if you're the Sixers, absolutely, because Markelle Fultz is not looking good at all. But for the Lakers, I think they needed Lonzo because of what he does in terms of he changes the culture, the passing is better, and they probably didn't. Having another Brandon Ingram kind of player is probably not what they needed.
Right. I think Ingram's going to be on the way out, though. I think he's going to be a trade chip or something. And
maybe.
Then you see PG-13 roll in, and the culture will change again.
Do you see PG-13 and LeBron James playing with Lonzo next season?
I don't. I think everyone's thinking he might go to L.A., but I don't think so. I think LeBron's going to look at Houston. I think he's going to review his options, but I really do think he's going to go back to the land. I think him and IT are going to take some time to mesh, and he's going to give it another 1-year contract with an option like he does every year, which is a brilliant move on his part. Gives him so much more leverage, and only players his type can pull that off. And I think he likes what he has right now. He's going to look at the other options, but unless it's a really good deal in a really good situation, he isn't going to pull the trigger.
Can I just say, him and Tom Brady are both, it's amazing that they're living and playing at the same time around the same area of their careers in terms of their...
Even though, like, Tom Brady's, like, 7 years older than him.
Right, fair enough. But he's a quarterback, so he doesn't have to be as mobile as LeBron, who's running up and down, so I think it balances out. These are two players where you don't say they're young anymore.
No, they're not.
No, I wouldn't say that. You might say it, but I wouldn't.
Nope.
But they seem to be almost getting better every year. And at the very least, they're performing at an MVP caliber
Brady was
level.
an interesting one because he seemed like he was losing velocity on his throws, and he was starting to lose it, and then bam, he comes out of nowhere, wins another Super Bowl. And this year he looks very sharp still. LeBron looks like the best numbers of his career.
Right.
And a couple years ago, it's like, wow, he really can't shoot. And now it's like highest 3-point percentage of his career, shooting around the same percentage as Steph Curry's shooting.
Right.
And not saying he's a better shooter by any means. I'm just saying his percentage.
His efficiency right now.
Yeah. And it's incredible. he just turned 33. His numbers should be declining, but they're not.
Right.
And that's awesome
So
because
this is
I would love to
15th
watch him play a lot more.
15th year in the league?
Well, he came in 2003. So
yes.
15th, 16th year.
Okay. Right. So we should be seeing a decline right now, but we're
You would
not.
think so. And he doesn't miss very many games. In
Right.
15, 16 seasons, he
But
doesn't miss very many games.
God forbid he misses one game every 3 years and everyone's all over him.
There was a stat, and I don't remember it all, but he played 15 seasons plus or so.
Right.
And he's missed less games than players like Steph Curry, Durant, all of them that played a lot less seasons than him.
Well, right.
He's like Mr. Durable.
What you forget is by making it to the championship every year, as often as he has, you're adding another.
And think about the
Quarter
postseason.
season.
He barely ever comes off the court, and
Right.
he can't
He
afford
can't.
to.
He
'Cause
can't.
When he does, the team loses a lot of points in that time.
Last year, his plus minus was in the positive against the Warriors.
But that's his durability is something that gets overlooked by the fans. I know a lot of the analysts and stuff on ESPN and the brilliant people like the coaches and stuff notice it and acknowledge it. But fans should really look at that durability and be like, wow,
I'm just in
he
awe.
really goes out there and tries his best every single day, works his hardest every single day, makes himself available for his teammates and puts them out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important. Like a lot of you guys that played sports together, you've always had that one teammate that's pretty good that gets hurt all the time. And when he's not out there, it's like you're not playing your full strength and you can have excuses of why you lost.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron being out there every single day eliminates that part of the excuse. And it's just like, you got your big dogs out there. Let's get after it, you know?
All right, before I leave you, Eagles, Patriots. Who's the winner?
Patriots.
You ready for my prediction, Spencer?
Patriots.
Hilbert basketball wins men's and women's championships in the AMCC.
That was totally irrelevant to the Patriots Eagles.
I just said I was going to make a prediction.
You're right. You're not wrong. It's quite a bold prediction. I know my girls are going to get it, but guys, you better work a little bit harder.
I believe in them.
Let's go Hawks.
Great day to be a Hawk. This has been Spencer Sticek. Thanks for stopping.